Hey y'all, it's Linda. Welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be going over some of my high-end favorites. So while I love finding that diamond in the rough or that discount, that deal, I do have a whole lot of higher-end makeup and skincare products that I really do think are worth the money. They are worth the investment. They are worth the higher quality that they sometimes bring from, more inexpensive brands. And while my collection is very varied, it has gotten slightly more high-end over the years as, as I've grown up, as my paycheck has gone up, or, just as I realize the kind of things that I want in my collection. So high-end or luxury items can be different things to all different people. Some people immediately think that if you say high-end, you're talking about Dior and Givenchy and all of these kind of big name brands. And I do understand that train of thought. But for me, a lot of those huge name brands are not cruelty-free. And as a lot of you know, my channel is entirely cruelty-free. That's the only makeup and skincare that I personally use, and it's the only stuff that I talk about here on my channel. So I am, I guess you would say, excluded from using a lot of those brands. So again, everybody might have a different view of what they consider to be higher end. The way that I kind of define it is, could I probably find something similar for cheaper? Yes. But do I think the quality of these products makes it worth it? Again, yes. So if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Linda and I am a cruelty-free beauty YouTuber, and I always want to help you decide whether or not makeup, skincare, hair care products are worth your money, whether they're, like I said, drugstore priced or luxury high-end. I just want you to spend your money wisely. But also, 2022, I am doing my very first low buy year. So I am being really cognizant and really careful about the items I bring into my collection. I want to make sure that they are unique to my collection and things that I really, really want, rather than just buying for the sake of buying. So if you're into that as you're watching this video, I would love if you'd subscribe and become a part of the Rockstar fam. Now, recently I did a video talking about a lot of my favorite products under $20. So I feel like this is kind of a good complement to that. I also do have another video coming soon about my favorite products that are a little higher than $20, but still not necessarily in the luxury high-end range. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But let's get right into this. So I have a bunch of makeup products in front of me that are ranging from eyeshadow to blush to bronzer to brow products. And then I have two skincare items I want to talk about as well. I don't know if I should do this by brand. I might do this by brand just to make things easy. So let's go ahead and start with these. So these are the Natasha Denona blush palettes. So this is the Love Glow Cheek palette, which has this fun glitter in it that moves around. And this is the Bloom Blush and Glow palette. So what these are, you have 4 different items, and you've got this little window here because you've got a cream glow product in this one. You've got a cream blush, a Glow Extreme, and a Duo Glow. And in this one, which is a little bit different, you do again have that glow cream base. But here you have a super glow. This is a powder. You have a diamond powder, and you have a glow impact powder. So the quality of these is so, so beautiful to me. And I love that you can create a cohesive cheek look with your highlighter, or maybe you want a shimmery blush one day. Maybe you want a more matte blush one day. Maybe you want like that highlighter to be seen by that new telescope that NASA is bragging about all over the place. Either way, I feel like these are really good investments. I use the hell out of these. I don't know if you can tell how incredibly used they are, especially these glow bases right here. These are beautiful, and I put these under blush a whole lot, or sometimes under foundation even, just to get that extra glow, and they look so natural. It almost looks like maybe you gently walked through the rainforest and came out on the other end just looking glowy and flawless, rather than like a super intense highlighter. So, I mean, you've got the best of both worlds here. I couldn't say that you could go wrong with either of these. Like, I love both of these equally. I use both of these equally. I just think these are really wonderful. Let's stick with Natasha Denona. So if you've been on my channel for any length of time, you've heard me talk about Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes. And I adore the quality of them. Of course, there are some more inexpensive brands that make some fantastic eyeshadows. Of course there are. I talked about a $3 eyeshadow palette that I absolutely love in one of my last videos. But at the same time, the quality of Natasha Denona's eyeshadows are ones that have always come through for me. And they make my job so easy. I am not a makeup artist. I am just a makeup enthusiast. So when I put on my makeup, There are days where I'm willing to sit there and be patient with a palette. There are days where I'm willing, like, okay, this one takes a little bit more building up. This one takes a little bit more patience. And then there are days when I have not a single fuck to be given and I just want it to work for me. For those days, Natasha Denona comes in clutch. They blend themselves and they're just so seamless and so beautiful. So the one I wanted to talk about today was one of the midi palettes, and this is the bronze palette. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I'm just gonna stare at it. Do you want to just spend the video just staring at this palette? This is such a lovely mix of golds, bronzes, warm browns. You've got this dark color up here. You've got rhodium, which is almost like a little bit of a purpley, shifty color. You've got this pink at the bottom. There are just so many different color combinations that can be made with this. So while it seems like maybe a one-note item because it is the bronze palette and it's a whole lot of bronze, so many different looks can be made with this. And I just think the quality speaks for itself. These colors, you touch one to the other and they blend themselves. It makes it worth the cost to me. Now, Natasha Denona did recently have a minor price increase. I still think everything's worth it. I really genuinely do. This palette, though, in particular, is just so lovely. I really feel like if you're looking to make an investment in your eyeshadow collection and maybe you want to get rid of some of those ones that just perform okay and you want to buy an eyeshadow palette with bronzes and golds that just works and is just easy and stunning and lasts, I would absolutely suggest the bronze palette. I adore this palette so much, except for the fingerprints that get everywhere. Do you know how many times I've cleaned this off before I held it up to the camera today? Do you know how many times? Like 7. All right, let's go with a foundation. So for this foundation, I would think that a lot of people might not consider this to be high end. But in a time where you can get ColourPop foundations for like $5 or Maybelline for really inexpensive or CoverGirl, I do think that this is definitely considered to be a higher end item. So the foundation I want to talk about is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Foundation. This is a lightweight buildable foundation. I would say you can get a light to medium coverage. If you're a full coverage kind of gal or guy, this will not be what you're looking for. But for me, I prefer a lighter coverage. I like to see my freckles shining through. I like to kind of see some of my imperfections coming through because that's what makes me me. I am imperfect. So this foundation really evens out the skin tone. It gives a beautiful skin-like finish. Now, when people had said skin-like finish before, I was always like, yeah, that sounds like a completely bullshit term because skin-like is what your skin is. This still looks like skin though. It doesn't look like you have a powdery overcast. It also doesn't look too dewy. It doesn't look too greasy or oily. It doesn't look like any of those things. It just looks literally like your skin, but better. And again, this is buildable. So there will be some days where I want a stronger coverage. I want a more medium coverage and I can build this up to look lovely. Or on days where I just want my skin to just look a little better than it does and maybe a little bit more evened out, I can just use one thin layer and it just looks beautiful and it lasts all day. That's something I found that personally is a big difference for me between more inexpensive foundations and more expensive ones, is that I feel like these last longer, especially in days where I personally still wear a mask anytime I go out at all. So I think that, having a foundation that lasts despite the heat that it is in July in Baltimore, I really appreciate a foundation that lasts, and this one does. It is such a beautiful foundation. I'm wearing it today. I just love the way it looks. All right, you probably knew this was coming. I feel like I've talked about this in every video lately, and I promise I'm going to shut the hell up about it soon, but today is not that day. So I want to talk about the best high-end bronzer I have ever tried, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury Sun-Kissed Cream Bronzer. This pan, like, look at the size of my head, look at a comparison, right? This is such a beautiful bronzer. You can see I'm wearing it today. I wear this more like a bronzer, so I will basically kind of contour with it and then blend it out as more of a bronzer. It is such a gorgeous, warm, lovely, lovely color. This is fair that I have personally, but I have friends who are only a little bit deeper in skin tone than I am that have used the medium to give them a really bronzy look, and it looks beautiful. I've seen people use the deepest shade, and that looks beautiful. So this is kind of a cream to powder formula. It goes on like a cream and it blends like a cream, which is great for somebody like me with dry and more mature skin. I am over 40, but it blends out beautifully and then it sets in place. So sometimes a cream product, it can just fade away after a while. This doesn't. This lasts. I've had this on my face for quite some time at this point that I'm filming, and it is still there and it is still beautiful. This is so worth the money. And this is something that I personally waffled on for a long time. Like, yeah, that looks beautiful, but it is expensive. Is it worth that cost? And I can tell you that for me, this is 150% worth the cost. If by some weird miracle I wind up going through this whole pan, I will buy another immediately after. Immediately after. And I'm already actually making a dent in this. I don't know if you can tell at all. There is a significant dent. I am definitely going to hit pan. I was going to say before the year is over. I will probably hit pan within a few months because I love it. I've been using it every single day. On days where I barely wear any makeup, I'm wearing this. This is the best high-end bronzer I've ever tried, ever. All right, I have one more cheek product, and I want to talk about the Melt Digital Dust Duos. These, I will always feel like they don't get the hype they deserve. So these are dual pan shimmery blushes, bronzers, highlighters. And you can see, again, this is all shimmer, and they are so beautiful. They are pigmented. They are just like, look at this. This shade in Queen Bee, you might think this is too deep for my skin tone. I use this one more than I use any of them, and I love it so much. So Queen Bee, again, is my favorite, but the quality is so good. These are so smooth, and they blend onto the skin with no glitter. They are just shimmery and just luminescent. They're absolutely luminescent. So the other two shades are Raw Honey. This one is a bit more cool toned, if you will. You've got kind of like a rose gold with more of a champagne highlighter. And then my other favorite is Buzzkill, which has this peachy blush with the more peachy highlighter. So these are so beautiful, and you need a little bit to go a long, long way. So if you've been wanting to try these, because these have been out for quite some time, please try them. Please, please, please try them. These are just so gorgeous, and I love them. And also like the bee print with like the hexagon. Oh my God, it's so, so good. I even love the back. The back has these like glittery stickers on them. Why am I talking about glitter stickers? I don't care. I don't care. I love these, and I want more people to try these. They're so, so good. Now, I am somebody who prefers a more glowy foundation, okay? I like my skin to be glowy and luminescent and dewy. I do not like full coverage and matte and things like that. So, if you are someone who also enjoys a glow, especially a glow from within, I cannot speak highly enough about the Auric Glow Lust. So, this is a cream product. And I use this in several different ways, but the way I use it most often is I use it kind of as a primer. I put it on my face under my foundation, and the glow that it brings through afterwards is so gorgeous. It just makes your whole skin look healthy. Even if you're wearing a more dewy foundation, this does not make your skin look oily if it is underneath of it. It just, again, looks luminescent. You look more alive. I feel like it makes my skin look more youthful, more plump. It just does all the right things. The formula is so creamy that it almost feels like a lotion, which is also nice. But just, I don't know. I can't explain enough how much this is better for me than any other like under foundation primer I've tried for glow. I still do love my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is 10 times better than it, in my opinion. I love how we have a pump instead of a big old doe foot. These are just really fantastic. I really, really, really enjoy this. The color I have, I believe, is Selenite. Yeah, I have Selenite, so it's a perfect match. It gives a slight tint, but for the most part, it's, you know, translucent on my skin tone. I adore this. I really, really, really adore this. And if you haven't tried it yet, give it a shot. For my eyebrows, so what's interesting is that what I'm going to talk about, people might argue whether or not this is considered to be high-end, but I feel like now there are so many really inexpensive brow products to find. You know, you've got NYX, you've got ColourPop, you've got all these brands making these really inexpensive eyebrow products that when one is slightly more expensive, I do consider that to be high-end, but for me, I have found these two products to be worth it. So these are both by Patrick Ta. First, I want to talk about, oh, I probably should have grabbed the new one instead of the one I've used to death. Yeah, that's kind of gross, huh? So this is the Major Brow Shaping Wax, and this wax is so fantastic. I get the tinted one, and it's not so overly tinted that it's going to make your eyebrows look super dark or anything like that. It just adds enough of a tint to fill in some bald spots, and the wax itself holds the eyebrows so beautifully in place, so natural, so fluffy. What I do is I will spritz this with a little bit of setting spray and take a spoolie, and I like my angled spoolie, and I will just kind of rub this in and brush my eyebrows into place, and it just does a beautiful job of keeping them there and tinting them in one step. This is so easy for me. I have a backup of this already. I should probably just get rid of this one at this point, but it's not completely dried out, so I don't want to waste it. I'm really bad at throwing products away, okay? But I just really, really enjoy this. And to go with it also, Patrick Ta, we have the Major Brow Lamination Gel. This is more hardcore, okay? So I've talked about this before, how my eyebrows are little jerks in that one likes to grow straight up and the other one grows to the side. So if I want them to look remotely, like I know they're supposed to be, they're not twins, they're sisters. If I want them to look like they've even breathed in the same bloodline, I need something hardcore like this to hold them in place. So this has a little comb on the end, and this gel is some serious business, okay? You comb your brows into place, and then what I will do is I will take a makeup brush and kind of press them into place. They're not going anywhere for the day, okay? They are going nowhere. Where they're going? Nowhere.
He's going nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere.
They're going to stay put, and if you're like me, where you like that kind of laminated look, where your brows are just like in place and not moving, this is the tits. I just really love this for holding my brows in place. And again, my brows are unruly. My brows, even though there's not a whole lot of hairs, the hairs that are there are like thick and wiry. And this is the only thing I've found that actually holds my brows in place. Absolutely love it. All right, next let's talk about lipstick. So my favorite high-end lipsticks belong to Charlotte Tilbury, 100%. I just really love the formula. I love how creamy they are. I love how consistently good they all are. If I buy a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick, I know the quality is going to be there. So the two colors I want to talk about. First, we have Super Cindy. These are both going to look very similar, but this is kind of a peachy pink nude color, and it is just so beautiful. Also, like the packaging, I kind of appreciate it when a brand gives me some luxurious packaging if I'm going to be paying the higher price. And I feel like this packaging is just like, you feel so bougie with it, right? Like, is this my thumbnail? But I really, really enjoy it. Super Cindy is great, but my absolute favorite color, as much as I hate the name of it. So this is JK Magic. This is what I'm wearing today. They do look very similar. I'm very well aware, but this one definitely has more brown tones to it, more nude tones to it. I love this color. And they do range in price. You know, I think this one's like $34, this one's $37. So they are on the higher end side, again, in a world where you can buy a lipstick for $1. But I really feel like the quality is what separates these from those dollar lipsticks. This, again, it lasts all day. They feel hydrating on the lips. The colors are just so beautiful. I feel like especially JK Magic is like a universally flattering shade. Like I've seen it on different skin tones and I'm just like, oh, every time it's like, be still my heart. I really think that these are worth the investment. And I am going to call these an investment because, again, there are so many dollar lipsticks or $2 lipsticks that spending $37 on a lipstick can feel tough. You know what I mean? But if you get a color, either one that you just know you're going to wear every day or one that's really, really special, I do feel like it's worth looking into the Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. They're beautiful. And finally, I have two skincare items that I would like to talk about. And skincare is something to me that I have found a few inexpensive skincare items I like, but I will be honest in saying that for the most part, as I've gotten older especially, I have found myself gravitating towards higher end skincare because I feel like that's where I notice a difference. With a lot of the more inexpensive stuff, they would feel good and maybe make my skin look good at the moment, but maybe not necessarily had a long-term effect. Whereas I feel like for me personally, a lot of more expensive skincares have really made my skin change for the better. So first, I want to talk about the moisturizer that I have been using every single day. So that is the Drunk Elephant Proteiny Polypeptide Cream. First of all, the dispensers are amazing. I don't want to waste any because I think I probably have like 2 uses left in this, but you just press the top here and the cream comes out here. So it's more sanitary, and then I can wipe this top down each day, and it's just a nice sanitary thing, and also it prevents air from getting in here. So I feel like it's not going to go bad as quickly as some others. They're not see-through, so no light is getting to these. But what I love about this is that it is heavy enough that it is good for my dry skin and light enough that it sinks right in and feels like I'm wearing nothing. I just have really felt a difference with this moisturizer personally. This is my daytime moisturizer. I do wear a much thicker one at nighttime, but I've just found that this has been perfect for my skin. Again, I have normal to dry skin. I'm not oily in any way, so I cannot speak for my oily skin folks out there. But this for me has just been beautiful. I feel like it also helps to plump the skin a little bit, and I don't just mean an immediate plumping effect. I mean over time in general. Or maybe the plumping in my face has come from tacos. Either way. But really, I just have been loving the Proteiny Polypeptide Cream. And the second item I want to talk about, this, oh my God, I was almost mad when this made a difference in my skin. So I do not have extreme skin texture. I have not had to deal with acne or anything like that. But as I've gotten older, I definitely have had more skin texture issues than I have in the past. And this item really made a difference for me in my skin texture, in smoothing things out, in helping my skin to look more youthful. So that again is Drunk Elephant. This is the TLC Framboos Glycolic Night Serum. So this is a 10% AHA, 1% BHA chemical exfoliant, and it's just, gosh, it's just made such a drastic difference in my skin texture. I don't know how many times I can say it. I feel like this is something where I put it on at night and I wake up in the morning and I can tell my skin is more radiant. I don't have dry, flaky spots. I just feel like it's made such a dramatic difference. And this is by far the most expensive item I'm talking about. Yeah, by far. So this is $90. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is a $90 serum. And the second this is gone, and I have very little left, I will be buying another one because it is hard for me sometimes to see a difference in my skin with skincare. This, I saw it after the first use, and the more I've used it, the more I'm seeing a difference, and the more I feel a difference in my skin texture. It's so beautiful. If you have any skin texture issues, if you are maybe a little bit older than 20 years old and your skin is just maybe not as taut as it used to be, I highly suggest trying this. I really feel like it has made a massive difference, and I really do think your skin is something very much worth investing in, because that's what we're going to have. You know what I mean? Like, we can put on as much blush as we want. We can put as much eyeshadow as we want. There's always going to be more blush, always more eyeshadow and everything like that. But you have one skin. Treat it really well and it'll treat you well. I just realized this was 10 products. So I guess these are my top 10 luxury favorites, my top 10 high-end favorites in makeup and skincare. So as always, tell me in the comments below, what are your favorite high-end products? And tell me why too, you know? Don't just say, I really like this mascara. Well, why? Does it really make your lashes look amazing? Like, tell me, because I always love finding new product recommendations from you guys. That's something that makes me really happy. And I love hearing firsthand accounts of like, why is this thing worth it? I always love finding out why something is worth it. So tell me, what are your favorites and why are they worth it to you? But that's it. Again, if you like this video, I would love if you give it a thumbs up or comment or share it with your friends. Those things all just really help out my channel. All of these are going to be listed in the description box down below. So if you decide to purchase any of them and you do shop through my links, I thank you so much. It is such a huge help. You all can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I am posting more on TikTok. Go follow me over there so I don't feel like I'm like shouting into the wind. And as always and forever, you are super freaking rock stars, and I love you so much with my whole heart. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.